Hey guys, this is Ruby. Welcome back to another episode of Shadowverse. Today we're going to go over our next class. Today we're going to be talking about Dragoncraft. And let's read this quick little description. This class has cards that can give you extra play point orbs in the beginning of a match. This lets you play powerful cards for the opponent. In your opening hand, it's best to have cards that give you extra play points, so be sure to redraw if necessary. Yeah, essentially the cards that help ramp your orbs, and then you just play big, giant creatures. This deck infinitely works well with high costing neutral craft cards. Probably works the best, because you can just quickly get to like 8 and higher, 8 play points and higher cards, and start going in right away. Without further ado, let's talk about this class. I'm going to try to go faster because the last video was like half an hour. Even though it was about my favorite class, but this isn't, so this should be shorter. Let's start with this bad boy. Start your turn, restore 2 defense to your leader, draw a card, and destroy this amulet if Overflow is active for you. Overflow effects activate when you have at least 7 play point orbs. It's mostly Dragoncraft cards that have Overflow. It's weird they say the word mostly, because that's implying that other cards might have Overflow, but I can't remember. Interesting. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, let me click create cards, so you can discuss the cards that I don't have. Wait, did I just go by any that are important? No, I did not. Altered Fate. It's card used for discard Dragoncraft decks. Discard your hand, draw a card for each card you discarded. Lots of cards that deal around discarding cards. Let's see. I'm gonna do... Silver Oni runs Date Musume. I guess it's, in my opinion, it's pretty much only good for killing a card. If it had Storm, I would like it a lot more, but it doesn't, so it's like, eh. It's good, it's not great. Dragon Oracle, this is a must in any Dragoncraft deck, almost any Dragoncraft deck. Gain an empty play point orb, draw a card if Overflow is active for you. It's just a 2-drop that gains you an extra play point orb. So you go from being able to play, you know, next turn, one turn you can play only 2 things, but if you play this card you can play 4 the next turn, if you play it again, 6 the next turn, so on and so forth. That's actually happened to me before, and at that point, you can just do so much to stop your enemy in their tracks. Dragon Summoner is beginning to be a big card that's being used. Put a random Dragoncraft follower from your deck into your hand. I guess it's good because of the whatchamacallit, ability to search for, well, not, you can't search for it, but you get to thin your deck essentially. Oh, Breath of the Salamander, how can I forget about this? Another staple in most, if not all, Dragoncraft decks. Deal 3 damage to an enemy follower, then deal 2 damage to all enemy followers. So, hit something for 5, and deal 2 to the rest. Good card. It'd be better if it dealt 3 damage to everyone, but you know what? I guess that's just me being a greedy bitch. And I can live with that. Let's see, what else is next? Nothing important here, nothing too much to talk about here. Wait, did I pass it? Actually, there might have been a card. Oh, yeah. Elia the Dragon Knight. When she dies, get an empty play point orb. Yeah, it's usually run in every deck, because that ability is just really good to not run. So is Dragon Scyther. As Bane, gain Storm if Overflow is active for you. This is why I run this card over Date Musume, because for 3, like, it gets Storm anyways, and then I kill something, as opposed to paying 5 just to kill something. Or sorry, paying 7 just to kill something, even though I'm a 5/5. But I'm just probably gonna die next turn. So yeah, I like Dragoon Scyther over that. Red Rage Worm. It cannot attack. And when you evolve it, it becomes a 10-10 that can attack, but you destroy this follower at the end of your turn. It's just used to crash into your opponent. Just do 10 whopping damage to them, essentially. Whoops. Dragomantis Rights. I like this card. I like the animated cards. It's pretty. Whenever you draw a card from your hand, whenever you discard a card from your hand, draw a card. So yeah, this makes discarding cards, which a lot of cards do in this class, it makes it worth it. Usually, discard cards are always on Dragomantis Rights, or else you run out of hand way too quickly. Dragon Song Flute, Jesus. Alright, Fanfare. Transform each card into your hand that costs 3 or less into a Hellflame Dragon. If Overflow is active for you, whenever a card that costs 3 or less is added to your hand, transform into a Hellflame Dragon if Overflow is active for you. Hellflame is a 4/3 creature with Rush. It only costs 2. Really good thing to use. Sometimes it lacks a little in getting the kill, but if you get it off early, it's a very, 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 very strong card to have. Let's see, we went over all these, slash, those aren't important. Rahab, and whatever. Anyways, it's a 2/5-bit ward. At the end of your turn, gain +1/+0 for each of your remaining play point orbs. So if you play this card and you have 3 play point orbs left, it'll become a 5/5. So it's a good card. Also, just a 4-drop 2/5-bit ward. It's good. It pretty much there's very few monsters turn 4 that can stop this. Especially if you play I don't know, Aelia the Dragon Knight, or you play Dragon Oracle and you get this out early, it's kind of a pain to deal with. Very good card. Nothing here really that's being used a lot. Nothing. Oh, these are all you run over. Oh, Silver of the Water Worm. Yeah, I think she's definitely worth mentioning. Gain an empty playpoint orb if this card is played on your 5th turn or later. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to your leader if Overflow is active for you. So yeah, this card is interesting because you have to play it. So if you ramp the card, you won't gain its desired ability of adding a playpoint orb. But at the end of your turn, if Overflow is active for you, you gain back 3 life. So it's a really good utility card. It ramps you, and then in addition to that, you can gain life back at the end of your turn. You can evolve it and whack something for 7, which is what most people usually do. And yeah, it's a good card. Draconic Fever, Fervor. Yeah, Fervor. I can't say that word for the life of me. I can't. Gain an empty playpoint orb, draw 2 cards, and restore 3 defense to your leader. Yes, you're doing all these things to yourself, so you're probably wondering how this is important. Trust me, for rampy decks, this card is invaluable. You need to use it. I thought this card wasn't worth using either because it did nothing to stop your opponent, but in the long run, trust me when I say it will help. You just kind of have to. It's all about timing when you use this card, but most times, especially if you have a lot of ramp from early on, there's no such thing as a bad time to use this card. Dragonclaw Pendant. This card is being used more and more. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you... Thank you. Dragonclaw Pendant. Your follower spells and effects deal +1 damage. There's a lot of cards that do damage in this deck that ping something for 1, deal 2 damage. For example, your Brother Salamander, it will do 4 to one person and do 3 to everyone else with the help of the Dragon Claw pendant. So if I was feeling really cheeky, I definitely would like run one in my deck. But other than that, I don't think it's super necessary. I thought I might give a special mention to Phoenix Roost. Cards in both players' hands. Sorry, whoa, I just had like a mental fart. Card in both players' hands costs half, rounded up. Whenever a card is added to a player's hand, its cost drops by half, rounded up. This card, at first I thought, oh, why would you want to use this against any other deck? Because everyone's, you know, everyone's cards in both hands cost half. This, I would say, you can never use against Runecraft, because if they're running Dimension Shift, you pretty much just handed them the game on a silver platter. But seeing how you're like trying to ramp cards, I think it's worth running if you want to. If not, it's not necessary. This card, subtract Fanfare, subtract 2 from the cost of a card in your hand. It's a 5/5, and you get to subtract something too. So it's great synergy. I like using this card. A lot of people don't, and I don't understand why. Dark Dragoon Forte. It's a 5/1 Storm. This follower can't be attacked if Overflow is active for you. This card is really good. Oops. This card is really good if... Oh, Jesus. Drag. Thank you. This card is really good if you just want to really hit something for one and just, like... If they don't have any damage spells, then they're in a real bad way. I would probably just use this to, like, clean up a game. I wouldn't like just randomly play this like halfway. Let's see, we have Lightning Blast, Banish an enemy follower amulet. Super good. Banishing is always great. This card used to be great. They really nerfed Dragoncraft a lot. Like this used to have an enhanced 10 ability, which means if you played it for 10, you get to banish everything on the opposite side of the field. It was a great card, and now it's like an okay card. I think I still run it, just because like that control is very important. Let's see. Tilting at windmills. Whenever you play a neutral follower, give it Storm and Destroy at the end of your turn. Yeah, you don't want someone to play this card and then they play a Bahamut. No, wait, sorry, an Israfel. And then you take 10 to the face, and that's if she's not evolved. So yeah, really good creature. I said really good creature. Really good amulet. Pairs well with the carrot from Emperor Kaiser. Because you can use him very defensively. Like you can just crash him into other creatures over and over and over and over again. Trust me, that's actually happened to me once, and that was obnoxious. I still won, but it was obnoxious, and I did not like it. Let's see. Ouroboros. I used to like this card. It was way better. Fanfare, deal 3 damage to an enemy, and in last words, put an Ouroboros into your hand. It's good if your opponents have a lot of offensive pressure, but if not, they can just keep flooding the field, especially with ward creatures, and this Ouroboros thing is pretty much useless. I'm not a huge fan of it. It was better when it had an extra ability where you gained 3 life once it died, but that's not the case anymore. So they nerfed this too. They basically literally just really nerfed Dragoncraft really hard, so I'm not a huge fan of this card anymore, which is why I don't have it anymore, because I liquefied it. Is that the last one? Is there any more 10 drop ones? Oh, there's 2 more cards. This one is Imperial Dragon. This is, once again, only to be used in a discard deck. Discard your hand and deal X damage to all enemies. X equals the number of cards discarded. Very, very good spell, if I do say so myself. And by spell, I mean follower. It's pretty much good when you're about to, like... It's like a Silver Bolt, potentially. Especially if you have Dracomancer's Rights. It's definitely a card I wouldn't risk using until, like, you're about to kill them. Or, unless... Well, if you have Dracomancer's Rights, you can just play it, wipe out the field, and draw a whole new hand. So, yeah, I really like it. I don't use it as much. And I would only run one of it because running that many with Dracomancer's rights can deck you out quickly, and you'll lose the game. And last but not least, you have Genesis Dragon. It's just a 7/9 with Storm, baby. It's just like, I'm here, I hit you for 7. it's a good card. But yeah. So, oh, and this one. Let's go over this bullshit. At the start of your turn, summon a Windblast Dragon. That is a 5/5 with Storm. Yikes. Very scary card. Yeah. It's a scary card. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, that's basically the main gist of this class. Just ramp up a lot and play big scary threats, or reduce the cost with cards such as Dragon Rider and go to town. But yeah, I think that's it for now. If you guys liked me babbling on about dragons, I thought that for some reason Dragon Ball Z theme song came up in my head. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, by all means, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with the next class. Until then, my loves, bye!